Hey all, welcome to my channel, and we are racing at Spa Francorchamps. Spa circuit is based out of Belgium, and as the qualifying went, I came out first. This is the first turn, and I really messed up on the braking, and I had to squeeze between the two cars, and here we are through the Eurosh corner. As you can see, this is one of the most famous corners in any of the F1 circuit in the whole world. A couple of reasons. One of them are that the elevation is very high. As you can see, it's just like a roller coaster, and you will not be able to see the apex. By the apex, I mean the curves, the turns. Just the middle of the turn is called an apex. So you just cannot see what the apex is, and if you miss that apex, you will definitely be ending into one of the walls that you can see on the other side of the track. So we have come far past that point now. Now it's a straight line, and then this very sharp turn to the left, and it's a very extended turn, so you have to be very precise with the steering and how much brake you need to apply. And then there is a heavy braking, and there to a right, and then to a left. This is one place where you can make a lose a lot of time. So you just need to be very careful on your throttle and steering. And as you can see, it's actually raining. It's not a dry track. We have to get raced today. The car is sliding around like hell. So I was just trying my level best to keep this car straight, and see, as you can see, my car just slided around like I just lost the control on my steering, and I had to wildly turn around the steering and correct it. So Spa circuit in the best of days is a very fast circuit, and you have to be pinpoint and accurate when you brake at the apex of turn 1. So if you go wide, you'll go off the track, and once you're off the track, the speed is very much limited. It's kind of throttled down to a huge extent, and the opponent, if he's right behind you, will suddenly be gaining on you like anything. So as you can see, I had a very clean exit out of the opponent will still get the RS. He was right behind me, but I braked late. Oh my god, that Ferrari is going to be pissed. So there's a certain fun in keeping the car behind you. They do their absolute best in here. I'm actually at an expert level of around 70, so not the best. I am not that perfect a driver, so I have not yet managed to beat the AI at 110%, but well, 70 is a start. So I even this is tough for me as of now, so I am really trying that I gain as much time and put as much distance between me and the opponent behind. So right now we are a healthy 3 seconds apart. Oh my goodness gracious, this was one tough race. And Eurosh is one of the corners where my heart literally stops, like, oh shit, we just stopped. We are going to crash into that wall, and when you miraculously come out of it, it's such a goddamn relief. And as you can see, this Ferrari is gaining time on me now. I might have missed the braking in one of the apexes. He is right behind me. Oh my goodness, I am very aware that this guy is behind me, and I'm trying my best. I can block this line. Oh, now he is trying to take an overturn, and I am brake late. And oh god, I would have screwed up myself in the Ferrari. Oh, he's right beside me. The cockpit view is a little different, so we can't really see if he's beside us or not. Oh, I think he must be. Oh wow, I have made quite a distance between me and that guy. So now I have a healthy lead, I have clean air. So there's one thing about Formula 1. So as long long as your opponent is, a healthy distance behind you and you have clean air in front of you, you can set the fastest lap after lap. But if you are in a close fight with your opponent, then your view is that, you make the ideal braking line, and you choose the right braking points, brake as late as you can, and gain as much speed as possible. That in the process you actually start to lose the time, because you're being very conscious, and there is so much dirty air in front of you. So you have to be you have two different scenarios in this case. So right now I am in a scenario where I have lots of clean air in front of me and the opponent is quite far behind as of now. But as you can see, I would be screwing up later, and Ferrari is going to be right on my ass. So Spa is one of the circuits which I'm sure Fernando Alonso put it the right way. It is one of the legendary tracks, one of the experience that you would never get anywhere else as a Formula 1 driver. Because the track is so dynamic, it is a high-speed track. It means that 80 or 90% of your complete track is such that your car is running on speeds in excess of around 250 kilometers per hour. I'm sorry. So and the fact that there are so many elevations in the sea, like this Euros, it is suddenly such a high altitude that when you go through that, the kind of G forces that your body is going through, it's actually close to 5Gs. And we have to understand that as normal people, we will definitely be passing out if we are close to more than a G. And these guys are regularly experiencing Gs in excess of 3.5, 2.5, 5 Gs at some corners. So it's really demanding as a Formula 1 driver that you push yourself to the absolute best, and you know the limits of your car, because that is very important. So like in this case, the guy who's driving this car is Lewis Hamilton, because again me. Lewis has this thing with the car. He understands how the car behaves in every track. He knows what is the absolute maximum limit of the car, and he consistently pushes the car to its limit. And he is very sure to make that he does not push it beyond its limits, because again that is going to ruin your lap, and as a team it's going to cost you. If it happens to be the last lap of your Q3, then it's pretty much game over for you. So this is the reason these guys are the best at what they do. They do not make mistakes, and even if they do, they are because some other guys involved. You might have heard about the recent controversy that we have had with Hamilton and Verstappen. So Verstappen again is young, and like many other reviewers who have said this, he is very aggressive, and again it is expected. Lewis Hamilton in his early years was equally aggressive. I've seen the videos, the days when he was with McLaren. So he was rash at times. He did bump into people, he did cut corners, but again with age comes experience, and then you realize that being aggressive is only going to make you lose things, not gain them. One miss and your game is basically over. You're in a DNF and your team has completely lost the points that they could have otherwise gained had you been conservative with your race. But this is the challenge. When we are young, we have hot blood, and that feeling that fuck this, I'll screw everyone and everything and come out on top. That experience will take time to disappear, and right now Max Verstappen is on the first stage where he's aggressive. He's too good at what he does. He is an excellent driver. One of the gems that this millennium will not see again. He will be remembered as one of the future best drivers, and he is already showing us his talent, his experience at such a young age. He is hardly 21 or 22, and he is already at the top of Red Bull, which is the prime competitor to Mercedes. So he has a lot of potential, but you can maximize that potential if you start to be a little conservative. The season so far, there have been 3 instances in which Max and Lewis came wheel to wheel, and Max kind of, Max has this thought that what, I will turn in front of him, let him either wait, brake and leave him, to go above, go beyond you, or then bump into me and crash. So Max only gives these 2 choices to his opponents, and neither one of them is good, because as a racing driver, I would not expect to bulge, and if the racing line is mine, I have all the rights not to give you space. You're the one who has got to give me space. So this is something that Max will have to realize in time, and if he does, trust me, he has ample amount of time to even beat Lewis. Lewis is in his 40s and Max is in his 20s, so there's a huge age gap here. So this is why these races are so critical. The last race in particular, oh my goodness, it has created so much controversy. I did not think that Red Bull would just hold on to that crash and make it a public scene. And they are still pursuing it, as as per the latest update. The stewards have actually called Red Bull and Mercedes to decide on the petition that Red Bull has put forward for Lewis's ban, and I am not sure why they are making such a big heck out of it. It's I don't know. I don't feel that's right. I feel that they're just trying to gain public sympathy and all that, which is absolutely shitty. I totally hate the guys who make things look bigger than they are. And it was frankly a racing incident. If you take my opinion, it is a clear racing incident. Both the guys were right. Max could have given a little more space on the outside, could have turned a little late. At least even if he would have been behind Lewis at that point of time, he had a complete race to overtake him. And let's be honest, guys. Red Bull clearly has the fastest car at the moment. Let's not try about it. And Toto has said that rightly, that Red Bull has been way more competitive than they have been in the past years in the turbo hybrid era, and this is actually the first time that Mercedes is consistently losing to Red Bull, and that too by a very healthy margin. I would not say thousandths of a second, but complete half second, 500ths of a second, which is a huge deal. And Mercedes is clearly recovering from all that hurt. And they have been open about it. So Red Bull has all the advantages, and it doesn't need to take those aggressive decisions. Now I speak to Red Bull as a team, not just to Max. It's for Christian Horner as well. Guys, you need to relax. You have time. You can beat Mercedes. At this point, Mercedes seems to have the lower hand, even though they have come up with quite a few upgrades for the successful race. And Mercedes did gain an advantage. I would not say that it was the best, but again, it was possible. But still stating that Red Bull has the fast car. So Red Bull had all the time in the world to catch up with Lewis, and they kind of messed it up as a team. And Horner and that good old doctor. The doctor also needs to know that this is not the right approach to winning championships, and if they win this, it will be the first time in the turbo hybrid era they would make a name for themselves. Trust me, guys. They would be remembered as the team which beat Mercedes, and that's quite the title, I would say. Alright, coming back to the race, right now it's still at an advantage. goodness. And guys, as you can see, the race is completely stopped, and now we have a big challenge in hand. So for those of you who are new to F1, there is this thing that the different set of tires that we have in F1, which is the soft, the intermediate, the hard, the inters, and the wets. They all have different properties. So the slick tires, by which I mean the soft, medium, and large and hard, these tires are made to be used in dry conditions when the track is absolutely dry, there is ample sunshine, and there's not a speck of water on the track. These tires work at a very low temperature, as in when you reach 400 degrees, the tires start to grip the ground. So that is why you might see that right before the race, all the tires are shrouded in the wrap. So that wrap is basically a heat blanket, and that is keeping the tire warm, so that when the champion goes out into the track for a formation, he can keep the tire at working temperature. And you might have also seen that once they have done forming the grid, the driver at the front, you would see that they'll weave around. So weaving creates more temperature in the tire. It keeps the tire at the optimal temperature, because once he has braked and wait for the rest of the grid to form, your tracks, your tires are suddenly starting to drop in temperature. So you have to have the tires over that minimum temperature, so that when it starts to cool down and when the lights go out and you hit the clutch, you have the perfect tire temperature to start the race. It is very precise. See here, I have missed a lot. I completely missed the ideal braking, and I went wide. So like I was saying, you need to have the tires at the optimal working conditions at all points, by which I mean all the braking points. Now in this particular section of Spa, you have a very high speed, and your brakes are also cooling down. So when you come to that braking point, you have to brake a little lighter, because your brakes would not have sufficient temperature. And these are carbon fiber brakes, so they are absolutely the best at what they do, but they also need to be above a certain temperature, so that they can grip, and the car can stop in time and take a turn. So these guys have to manage through a lot. Their brains are like workstations, trust me guys. These guys are physically the most fittest people on the planet, the 20 most fittest people on the planet, and this game is so hard to win, and to come out on top of the game, you have to go through a lot. And this is where I respect Lewis. He's someone who has come from a very, very poor background, but he had the passion to race, and he had the skills. His father, I completely salute the guy. He has worked his ass off. He has basically put nights and days together to make money, to bring his son to the track every weekend, take part in kart races. And Lewis has delivered his absolute best time after time. He moved through the Formula 1 championship grids. It's F4, F3, F2, and then F1, and he has consistently showed that he is a talent to be reckoned with. Lewis started his career at McLaren, and at McLaren he surprised everyone. No one knew that there is a young black kid who is making around. Begging me to talk about again equality and racism. So Lewis has had to go through a lot, because he's an African by origin, even though he's a British citizen. So African British citizen, I might call that. So people still have a lot of things against the black guys, and this race predominantly is a white sport, I would say. sorry, I'm being a little rude here, but all the guys, if you see on the track, off the track, in engineering, in car department, in the engine, the PU, every single department is mostly filled with white guys. And here this guy comes, winning races after races, creating names, beating all the known names on the track. And people are a little surprised and taken aback, like, who the hell is that? And this guy stood out. He took the abuses. He answered it on the track. He was never, he never run his mouth on the camera. He would have had so many opportunities because he was the reigning champion, and he would have had so much opinions to give, but he never said a single thing. He just showed what he's capable of doing on the track, and this is how you answer your critics. You don't run your mouth, you win races. And Lewis has been doing it consistently, race after race, season after season. He has broken records. He has broken the record of Michael Schumacher, who is considered a racing legend. He has been, rewarded by Michael's son, with his helmet. He is one of the most blessed drivers in the world, I would say. It is an honor to have that achievement. And still, if you see, this guy is in his 40s, and he says he still has years to give to the sport. He is at the topmost fittest level of his career so far, and it's saying something. So guys, that is called passion. And if you have the passion, if you have the zeal, you can do anything you want. Trust me, guys. I know this might sound a little like a hollow talk, but again, these are really facts. So as you can see, I am just trying to win this guy off my ass. I'm just trying my absolute best. And the thing with intermediate tires is, guys, that it is not meant to run on dry tracks, and the track is pretty dry right now. So you'll miss a lot when you brake, at the end of the straight. You will lose a lot of valuable time. And I am just trying that I brake a little late here, brake a little late there, and just gain whatever time I could. I think this is the final lap of my race, and as you can see, I will be making that heavy braking right now, and I get it just right and perfectly turn over. And well, here is the checkered flag, guys. This is Lewis Hamilton, the world reigning champion of Formula One, my hero. Thank you all for watching this video, and